Get your tinfoil hats on, people. We're going conspiracy theorist in this one. Hey, hello, I'm your conspiracy shaman, Adrian from Rabona TV, and welcome to UCL This Week. You happy? Sad? Me? The latter. This episode of UCL This Week is brought to you by OneFootball, so a thank you to them. Download their app to stay up to date on everything Champions League, as well as the teams and competitions that you care about. With their customizable newsfeed, follow along with live scores, watch highlights, etc. So use the link in the description for a free download on your favorite operating system, Android or iOS. So after slapping Real Madrid with a 3-0 without Neymar and Mbappe, PSG went away to Istanbul to take on Galatasaray, and hey man, Gala gave them a great match. Sure, PSG outchanced them about 2-1, but Gala had a couple of decent tries. I'm thinking in the 18th minute when they had some great interplay on the edge of the box, and then the final strike went just wide. But PSG will be frustrated with this match as they were wasteful in front of goal at times, Di Maria the biggest defender in that case, but when they finally did break through Gala's defense, Sarabia was extremely generous in squaring to Mauro Icardi to slot to an open goal. That was his first goal for PSG in 3 appearances since transferring from Inter Milan, on loan, of course. Now, to the very interesting game that overshadowed the other group in... What? To the very interesting game that overshadowed the other in Group A, Real Madrid hosting Club Brugge. Some decent action early in this one, like Benzema heading just wide, or, Emmanuel Dennis or Bonaventure as he goes by, providing the absolute definition of bundling the ball into the net. Some question of offside on this one, but looking at the cut of the pitch, there does look to be more space behind Ramos than there was behind Percy Tau, and here apparently it's also onside. I don't know, man. These things are so tight, but hey, they're showing us both the kicker and the receiving player in the same frame, which I like. Note that for later. That's some foreshadowing. And it gets better for Brugge as my guy Emmanuel scored another after Modric fiddled around with the ball, coughed it up, and Emmanuel Bonaventure again almost made a mess of it, but got it past Courtois. Sicky Courtois, who had a little stomach ache. Second half, Zidane pulls Courtois with the reason allegedly being the stomach ache, which I just sort of laughed at him for, I'm sorry, which is what I would tell my mom when I didn't want to go back to school. And then Real Madrid scored with a header from Sergio Ramos, but it looked blatantly offside. That tinfoil hat I mentioned, do you have it on? Good, I've got mine here. It's not made out of tinfoil though. One sec. So here's the first angle they showed. Looks like a bona fide offside, right? Time went on, we didn't see any other angles, the goal was given, then later in the broadcast, they showed this. Okay, here's where I think things are a bit strange. As I mentioned on Twitter, these two frames do not show the kicker, Benzema, and Ramos in the same shot. Why is that? If he was onside, then why not show the angle with them both in it? Why not use this image to draw your line so that we know that the two images are taken from the exact same moment, which we don't know thanks to this. Like I said, big conspiracy, folks. It's weird that they showed both from the Brugge VAR check, but didn't show both in the same shot for Madrid's. And no, this isn't anti-Madrid, so calm down, some of the paranoid commenters out there. This is a tinfoil hat theory on VAR. Why not show both if you have nothing to hide? Anyway, Casemiro then scored an equalizer, and Brugge had to live through some extra anxiety as their captain got himself sent off quite foolishly. 2-2 the final, big point for Brugge, and for Madrid as well, their first of the group, PSG with an early 4-point lead already. Hey, Red Star and Olympiacos, two fast friends in football, two close fan bases, and an extremely entertaining game. Ruben Semedo put Olympiacos ahead. Olympiacos were the visitors, by the way. That's important given the incredible support Red Star gets in their own stadium. Olympiacos' Benzia got himself booked towards the end of the first half and got a second yellow just after 55 minutes, and it was there for the taking for Red Star. And they obliged. Milos Vulic scored the first just 5 minutes after the red. Milunovic scored the winner from a corner, and they got another insurance goal from a corner in the 90th. 3-1 Red Stars, they take full advantage of that red card. Red card Belgrade. Speaking of red, Serge Gnabry was in the mood to reiterate that North London is red to his Twitter followers. Ouch. What hurts even more is how emphatically he and his teammates asserted that notion to Tottenham. Coming to London, the Germans were simply impeccable in front of goal. Lewandowski was brilliant, as you'd expect, scoring his 14th and 15th goals from 10 appearances so far. Dude just turned 31 and he's threatening to pull Zlatan's trick of scoring more goals after he scores 30. But let's be real. It was all about Serge Gnabry. The former Gunner banged four goals past Lloris, in which he was pretty much perfect on the night. In fact, he was just the 11th player to receive a perfect 10 out of 10 rating from French publication L'Equipe. The 7th was the best. It was a banger. Well, actually, I don't know. Lewandowski scored 2 beautiful goals. The flick for the first one, nice. Don't know what to say about Tottenham. On the one hand, it kind of seems like Poch's magic has been diminished a little bit, and it just isn't working out with this squad anymore. But on the other hand, what could you do in this match? Sure, the defense didn't help themselves, they were poor, but Bayern were hitting some near perfect strikes, while Manuel Neuer was massive in goal for Bayern. He didn't have an easy night. Bayern, 7 goals from 10 shots on target, while Spurs scored twice from 8 shots on target. So, Bayern are sitting pretty with 6 points, while Spurs have 2 must-win matches against a tricky Red Star team coming up. Right, so Group C, Atalanta are having a tough time getting used to life in the Champions League. Things started promisingly when Zapata put the Bergamo boys ahead, and Atalanta certainly had more of the ball and more of the attacking intent across the entirety of this match, but they failed to convert a penalty early, and they hit the post before that goal, which should have been a warning sign. Sure as ever, Shakhtar found themselves an equalizer before the half from Junior Moraes. He did well to round the keeper and keep calm. Then, yes, they took the lead Atalanta style, aka at the very, very death of the match. The 4th minute of 4 added minutes, and King Solomon wins it for the Ukrainians. 2-1 Shakhtar. Back in Manchester, City, I haven't seen a side get dominated like Dinamo were dominated by City in this one. 20% possession, 20! And they had 2 attempts at goal. That's it. One of which was on target. And Gundogan hit the bar again for a second match running. That poor guy. And yet, the score was close right until the end of this match. City finally got their breakthrough once they brought on Foden and Sterling, and it was the latter who finished off a squared ball from Mahrez in the 66th minute. Mahrez has been involved in 6 goals in his last 5 appearances. In the 95th, Sterling played Foden through and his driven finish was perfecto. Routine win, Cancelo played well but could have been sent off. Another 3 points for City, but this group is pretty close so far. Atalanta, the only team on 0 points. Come on, boys. Group D might be, as Juve welcomed the losers from last week, Bayer Leverkusen. Juve are showing signs of improving from their not-so-exciting start to the season. I mean, it makes sense. It takes time to adjust to Sarri's tactics, so hey. But Higuain, it makes me happy to see this guy scoring goals. Discarded by Juve last season, went on loan at Chelsea after being sent to AC Milan, and now back at Juve, and he opened the scoring with a sweet-driven strike, then almost scored another later on in the first half. Leverkusen didn't really do much in this match. They didn't have a single shot on target, after all. Ronaldo himself had 3 shots on target. You know? But he and Higuain linked up well to get Juve second, which Bernardeschi smacked past Hradecki. Later, Ronaldo got the goal he was after in the 88th. Clean finish, great performance from Juve, especially in the second half. Atletico Madrid had a trip to Moscow to play Lokomotiv, and they looked much better than Atletico has looked in their last few matches. They were looking a little bit worrying before, but got things right. Part of this could be down to the trio of Morata, Diego Costa, and João Felix all starting together, and the future World Player of the Year, Felix, scored his first Champions League goal in the 48th minute after a great feed from Morata. In doing so, he also became the youngest scorer in the UCL for Atletico, the youngest scorer ever for Atletico in the UCL. Then later, he drove forward, played a lovely looping ball into the box for Diego Costa, who squared to Thomas Partey for the second to effectively kill the game. 2-0 Atletico. Partey with another huge performance, and Atletico and Juve both sit on 4 points at the top of the table, but Lokomotiv are just behind them. Bayer are dead so far. 2 limp performances, 0 points. If they can't beat Lokomotiv at home, they're gonna have a tough time. All right. Group E, let's hit it, starting with one of the early kickoffs from today. Well, yesterday now. Napoli away to Genk. Napoli, of course, defeated Liverpool in their first match, but in going away to Genk, they weren't able to seal the deal. Tons of possession, many shots launched towards goal, but most of them wide or blocked, and no killer instinct. Milik was bad, shockingly bad. I guess we'll go easy on him as he is sort of returning from injury, but my God, Llorente is the better option at Napoli right now. So 0-0 the final in this one, and as Nicky Bandini wrote on Twitter, last year Napoli won plaudits for beating Liverpool in the Champions League group stage, but a 0-0 draw away to Red Star ultimately cost them a spot in the knockout round. This year, Napoli win plaudits for beating Liverpool, follow up with a 0-0 draw away to Genk. Ellipses. With how Salzburg looked in their first match, they could be in trouble, but how did they look in their second match away to Liverpool? Pretty damn decent, actually. Sure, spoiler alert, they lost, but they gave the defending champions a damn good scare. And they scored 3 more goals. They've scored 9 goals already. But anyways, Mane scored against his former club just 8 minutes into the match after a great give and go with Firmino. Who else? Firmino is the best, well, I guess Lewandowski's the best striker in the world right now, but Firmino's still great. Then it felt like we were heading towards a walloping when Liverpool's fullbacks connected, Trent setting up Robertson, and the finish was Firmino-like, deft touch, get him in the front 3. But then again, their front 3 is fine as is, as Salah finished off Firmino's rebound, which came thanks to a great cross from Mane. Salah actually came close earlier, so he was probably relieved to make it 3-0 and kill the game, right? He killed the game, right? No, Salzburg weren't finished. Before the half, despite Liverpool still dictating the play, Hee Chan-Huang turned Van Dijk completely inside out. That's a big achievement, and he ripped it past Adrian in the goal. In the second half, they continued as Minamono finished a volley in from Huang's cross, and 4 minutes later, after just coming onto the pitch, Erling Bro Haaland tapped in from edge of the box, the 6-yard box, for the third. 3-3. Another assist for Minamino, right through Van Dijk's legs. Did the result hold? Nah. Mo Salah finished from Firmino's flicked header through ball, 4-3, but damn it if Salzburg didn't give them a scare. So with 3 points, Liverpool and Salzburg are now equal on points, while Napoli and Genk bookend the group. Borussia Dortmund and Slavia played the first match in Group F, and what a funny match it was. Dortmund won 2-0, a brace from Achraf Hakimi, who still mystifies me as to why he isn't playing at Real Madrid right now. But anyway, he looked great for a Dortmund side that was extremely meh, and they got even more meh as the match went on. The second half, almost all of the dangerous play came from Slavia, as Dortmund were reduced to trying to hit them on the counter, which they did to great effect on 2 occasions, but I don't know. If I was a Dortmund fan, I would want my team to be performing a little better in matches like this and would want them to be the ones forcing the issue, not Slavia Praha. But hey, a 2-0 win is a 2-0 win. So, Barcelona versus Inter Milan, and Barcelona finally had their man leading their attack. Lionel Messi was back in action, and he showed once again how central he is to Barcelona's success. Without Messi in this match, in which he created chance after chance after chance after chance, you wonder where they would have been without him. But I mean, you also got to give a ton of credit to Luis Suarez, who looked fantastic himself. But before that, it was Lautaro Martinez who got Inter fans screaming with glee when he scored just 2 minutes into the match, assisted by none other than the former Barcelona man himself, Alexis Sanchez. Barca would labor and come close on a few occasions, as would Inter, if not for Ter Stegen. But Luis Suarez, my God. The equalizer in the 58th minute was prime Suarez, an ungodly volley from the edge of the box from a Vidal cross after Messi made a driving run towards the area. Then, Suarez did it again at the close of the match in the 84th minute. Messi sailed past a few Inter defenders, dished to Suarez, who touched it around Godin like he was David Luiz, and slotted the winner. 2-1 Barca, and the group is tight. Barca and Dortmund on 4 points each, Inter and Slavia on 1. Okay, Group G, let's talk about Benfica versus Zenit quickly. Here's the thing. There's clearly problems with form at the moment for most of the Benfica team, while there's also a big problem with the team selections. I get it. We don't see everything that happens in training. We don't see the full extent of injuries, but what on earth is Jardel doing ahead of Ferro? Why is Faisa in there, who played a huge part in us conceding in the first half? Why is Seferovic starting when Vinicius and RDT haven't been given a chance together and they look like more complete players? Not only were we clueless in the attack, I mean, we didn't threaten once in the first half, but our defense and midfield wasn't great either, and it continued in the second half with an own goal from Ruben Dias, and then there was a third for Azmoun. Was the second goal offside? Maybe. It kind of looks like it here, but I mean, who cares? We didn't deserve to get anything from this. Super happy to see RDT score. That's the only positive, but this group is going to be tough to get out of now. We look terrible. By out of, I mean even to drop into the Europa League. It's going to be especially hard when Lyon have gone away to Leipzig and banged two past them and kept a clean sheet. Depay with the first, Martin Terrier with the second. Did Lyon look great at all times? No, but they played with courage and were awarded for it. Not to mention they could get in behind the Leipzig defenders once in a while, something Benfica it seems like they could not do if their lives depended on it. The way the standings are currently perfectly resemble the proper rankings of these teams. Benfica's record in the Champions League in the last 3 seasons: 2 wins, 1 draw, and 11 losses. Embarrassment. There's no sugarcoating this garbage. Okay, I better stop now because I could rant for a long time on this. In Group H, Chelsea went away to Lille, the former home of Chelsea legend Eden Hazard. I'm very calm now, as you can see. And they opened the scoring in the 21st minute when Tammy Abraham, on his birthday, took down a great ball from Tomori, spun, and finished. That's 8 goals in 9 appearances across the Prem and the Champions League for Abraham. Lille never really went away though, and they scored from a 100% free header that probably also came with a lifetime warranty. Victor Osimhen capping off a good spell of pressure from Lille with his goal from the corner. Zonal marking from Chelsea fails them once again. Just switch to man marking. But Callum Hudson-Odoi is getting reintegrated to the Chelsea side after his lengthy injury, and he came off of the bench to set up Willian. Great strength to shrug off the defender, then his looping cross was slapped past Mignan. Weird finish, straight into the ground, a la Ozil actually. But that was that. Job done for Chelsea, pretty competent win, and they get their first 3 points of the campaign. Lille did come close in the 83rd minute, but no, Chelsea hang on. The other match was Ajax versus Valencia, and of course Ajax weren't going to mess this opportunity up. Valencia are in a weird state at the moment and were, in my opinion, a bit fortunate to catch Chelsea on a weird day in their opening fixture victory, but Ajax is a completely different beast. They have a great manager, and they managed to hang on to key players, and they're reaping the benefits. First, there was Ziyech banging a ludicrous goal over Cillessen, goal of the night for me, but I do wonder just a tiny bit if Cillessen misjudged it. He jumped and landed on his feet. He didn't dive through the air to stretch and reach it. Still, take nothing away from the strike. Then Danny Parejo blasted a penalty over the bar, as if it wasn't difficult enough to beat Onana on the night. But of course, you blow a chance like that and you get punished. Quincy Promes, thriving at Ajax, made it 2-0. Each team hit the woodwork a couple of times, then Ajax killed the game through Donny van de Beek as he finished an excellent team move off. 3-0, and Ajax are killing this group. 6 goals scored, 0 conceded, and they deserved to lead. Can't wait to see how they do against Chelsea. I have a good feeling about them. And I still have a bad feeling about Benfica. And this episode is over. I have stomach issues. I can't continue to play. So let's say our goodbyes. I hope you enjoyed the Champions League this week and that this video was helpful. Other than that, I'm Adrian. I love you. Have a great day.